Yeah, it's Outage. I've got a real zinger for you today. Check out this diamond in the rough.
It's like we don't know how to go about this exactly. Pretty tough to pinpoint when every thought it went void. Like what is it if it is not enjoyed?
I've been keeping up with the Forgettable dungeon since its conception in October of 2015, when Rotondo, a developer for a childhood favorite of mine, started its Kickstarter page. Almost immediately, I begged my dad to throw that $24 pledge down on the table for the beta access, which I thought would last until May of 2016, as the page had said, until Rotondo was struck down with a case of the super AIDS. Only kidding, but he was struck with a debilitating arm injury in the beginning of 2017, which stunted development for a bit of time. With his recovery came progress, thankfully, and the game is on track to be finished soon. So, if you hadn't picked up on it, the game is currently in beta, so I'll be pretty easy on it for now. I haven't got much else but positivity to spread about this project though. This game is built in the voxel style, one I've always been fond of. Basically a virtual Minecraft Lego set. A few successful games have been put out similarly, Voxatron, StarMade, 7 Ways to Die, but I think this one really embraces it and takes the cake. The scenery you traverse through is simple, as it has to be, yet varied enough to capture your attention. The sand dunes are nearly lifelike. The forests, like on Earth, have evenly spaced, equally tall trees, and the ice areas have naturally occurring bonfires. Just like home. This game is also a full, beautiful 60 frames per second, which you usually need Pornhub Premium for. This allows for crisp animations from both the player character and the enemies, highlighting the spot-on hitboxes and fast-paced combat. No matter what you've drawn your character as, a dick, a solid red square, or a badass wizard,
a dick wizard,
or a badass wizard, the way it swings its weapon really brings it to life. The enemies, unless they have a specific attack like the Blue Knight, don't have as much to them animation-wise, but they're still satisfying nonetheless. Speaking of dick wizards, let's bring it back to character customization. You literally draw it, and it can use whatever you draw as voxel character. It's so cool. You're confined to an 8x8 box, which both makes it easier and more difficult. You need to be creative, but you also don't need to spend more than 30 seconds on it to look cool. Some of the stuff I've seen made for it impressed me a lot. If you want all these skins to choose from, I recommend checking out the link in the description. These characters look small in comparison to the vast overworld though not so small that you feel powerless. It's like holding a Whopper. Your hand is nothing next to it, but your eyes say that diabetes is the way to go. The way that the overworld is put together, with 4 biomes to explore, each with their own unique enemies to slash, makes way for entertaining exploration. It actually takes a little effort to find what you're looking for, and if you get lost, you need to work to retrace your steps. Included in the overworld, and sometimes in dungeons, are rooms with clever references to Rogue and the Legend of Zaldorf. I'll let you play it and find them. This game is a pure roguelike. It stays true to every trope of a roguelike, and it doesn't really deviate from the style. This is a pro and a con because I love the roguelike style, but it may also restrict creative direction. We'll see how it ends up. Hopefully not in a bad spot. Recently added was the character inventory system where you can store your lien and rolling papers. When you display it, it all spills around you in a
goddamn mess. Why do you want this product? This is what is this?
Only to retract back into your pockets instantaneously. Funny how nature do that. Another aspect ripped straight from Rogue is the floor symbols that can either fuck you or take you to dinner first. I've had a few irreversibly teleport me to a room after which I can't progress. That's since been fixed, but it was pretty funny anyway. Lastly, the online play of this game is awesome and always fun to play with friends. Currently, the game doesn't have its own server, so you have to host your own games, but the gameplay is great.
Speak like I'm Jones for beef, for moments to breathe. Let's be square, I'm the only MC. Asshole, I'm the shit, y'all just hoping I leave. Diarrhea in my diary. Now that's a consultation. No, but constipation, constellations.
There aren't very many negative aspects to this game, and they're mostly small and will be fixed when it's out of beta. Sadly, I must still point them out. Sorry to play devil's advocate. The bosses in the game are about as interesting as the ingredients of a container of watermelon. Skelebon is exactly what you expect. Snake Boy just spits at you and moves around. The only relatively interesting one is the ice blob, and it's nothing seriously special. This doesn't detract very much from the game as a whole though, as it's barely any of the experience. Currently, the game almost completely breaks when I try local split screen, something this channel relies on heavily. The bottom half drops the FPS like it's over Dresden and crashes after a little while. Hopefully this can be fixed for Windows 10. There are some rooms and dungeons that are just 100% bottomless pits except for an item on the other side of it. How does that work? Some of the items aren't great. Others may have a better experience with them, but I've never seen the staffs as useful. They mostly hinder my gameplay. This shall not pass. Finally, in the overworld, the ice enemies freeze you in place on contact, not allowing you to retaliate, and as friends all gangbang you. It makes the area unbalanced and really stressful to move through.
My time up to a loss. I'm soft, trying to chime in with the thought. If I paid for borrowed time, could I whine about the cost?
What do I think? Why the fuck should you care? I'm just kidding. What do I think? The game's fantastic. Even in its current beta, the game deserves a 7 or 8 out of 10. I've played it for 20 hours alone, including the early stages of it. It never fails to be a fun experience. Please, if you like the sound of this game, go support Rotondo by the link in the description and purchase the beta of the game, or at least send a little cash his way. It wouldn't hurt. If you'll excuse me, I have a skit to make.
Over yet, say it isn't over yet. No, it isn't over yet. It has just
I told you it wasn't over. If you missed it, go back and check out our latest podcast episode in which we harass and traumatize Swahali, a fellow content creator. Stay tuned for the summer. We have some big plans that we intend to keep our word on. Lastly, if you missed this as well, go back and check out Joe's debut as a couch spokesman, in which he talks about today's obsession with Battle Royale games. If you like the music I used today, check out the link in the description to Senseless's library below.